check out what came in for you. Can I help? Have an order? like a good deal. Is that a good price for that? I have no idea. Seems like a good deal. That's better. You may have been dreaming before. Seems like a good deal. I'm sure someone will want that. Seems like a good deal. Sure. Can I help? I'll do what I can to sell it for you.
Yes. Choose what you need. This gold will one day have use again. Of course.
order? I'll do what I can to sell it for you.
Hey guys, so I wanted to make a video going over, the top 10 builds, or at least, 10 really strong builds that you can play late game this patch. We're now a month in, people have explored a lot of options, a lot of new different build options, all the new ascendancies, new items, new uniques, all that, right? So we're pretty well into the league, and yeah, I can really make like a nice refined list now of this really cool endgame builds that you can play. Keep in mind, the budget of these builds is anywhere from like least order friendly to thousands of divines. There really is no like limited budget here. It's just like, really cool endgame builds. So here's my top 10 list. I'll go over one by one and talk about it as I show some gameplay. First thing, we have Cast on Dodge by Jung Roon. The extremely strong build. It is a fairly high budget though, and it's definitely going to be one of the fastest builds you can play outside of Temporalis. It's an extremely good build, extremely fast, and also really good damage as well. Pretty clever build that is enabled through the new Absent Amulets that give you a free Spirit Gem. So you get to use 2 Cast on Dodge. Overall, just a really fast and fun build that you can play. And it's definitely going to give you a really high speed, and that's what you're looking for, if you can't afford Temporalis. Next build we're going to have is Lich Twisters by Prada. So Twisters have been pretty popular overall this league, but at very high budget, nothing is going to beat Lich. Of course, if you want a more league start friendly, league start budget build, then Deadeye and Spirit Worker are going to be the way to go. But at very high budgets, Lich is going to be the best feeling when you have thousands of divines to spend. Lich is just going to be the best version of Twisters. You get insane projectile speed, insane attack speed, full screen clear, right? If you play Twisters, I've seen Twisters, you know how it is. Lich just really takes it to the next level when you have the currency to scale it. Next on the list, we're going to have my Ice Shot Deadeye / Pathfinder that I played this league. As expected, this did turn out to be one of the best league starters you can play. Just extremely good from all the way through, from level 1 all the way till Giga Endgame, multiple mirror tiers. I made multiple guides on this build, and of course I have my mobile analytics as well for this guide. Just an extremely good build, extremely fast paced. If you don't want to play some like World on Assault build or something, or attack move build, this is a walk-in build. So you're not using any movement skills, you're just walking at extremely high fast movement speed. And once you do the Pathfinder swap, you start sprinting around like 200% movement speed, and you're just like extremely fast build. Of course, Temporalis builds always be faster and stuff, but yeah, very satisfying build to play with both Ice Shot and Held Up Ice explosions and chain explosions as well, and you have full screen coverage, and this build scales extremely well. You can play as a league starter, you can invest multiple mirrors into the build, and can do all content in the game. Next, we have the Spirit Worker Beastmaster by Captain Lance. I know quite a few other people have played this as well. But yeah, the Monkey Companion actually turned out to be extremely busted. This is a nice, very, I guess you could say, dad gamer build. It's like 0-1 buttons. The monkey just kills everything around you. You can just like AFK content. Extremely strong. The monkey literally just instantly kills everything with enough damage. It will just instantly kill any Uber in the game, any boss in the game. This is an extremely well-rounded build, and also extremely tanky as well. If you want a very tanky build, this is definitely one of those you can play. And also like the Ice Shot Deadeye, this is a league starter and can also invest very high budget into this build. You can invest multiple mirrors into this build if you want, or you can just invest like 50 or 100 divines and we'll do all content extremely easily. But yeah, just an overall very well on the build. Next, 100 divines and we'll do all. You can invest multiple mirrors into this build if you want, or you can just invest like 50 or 100 divines and we'll do all content extremely easily. But yeah, just an overall very well on the build. Next is more like a generic, but just martial artists in general. So you can check out like FP Kaborian or Jung Roon for like the Clone War 1 Assault stuff. But yeah, just martial artists in general. As it turned out, martial artists was as broken as we thought. You can play a lot of skills on this ascendancy. It doesn't have to be quarterstaffs, but namely most of the builds on this ascendancy are going to be quarterstaff, but you can play any type of weapon on this class because yeah, it really is just that broken. The unique gloves you get on this ascendancy really just enable a lot of different type of builds. So do the bells and clones as well. Just an extremely strong all-rounder from no matter what you want to play. Once again, this can also be a league starter and can scale to like multi-meter tier as well. But yeah, just an overall very strong ascendancy. Check out these two people if you want some ideas for builds. Next, we have the Gemling Fall Thunder by Palstron. Now, there's a lot of builds you can play on Gemling. You can probably just have a top 10 list of Gemling only builds. It's quite a diverse ascendancy this patch, but I thought Palstron builds was quite interesting. Keep in mind, his build is quite expensive and it's not meant to be a budget build whatsoever. It'll be like 1,000 plus divine build, 2,000 plus divine build. But yeah, it is a very strong build, extremely tanky build, and also an extremely fast build. Has a downside being an attack move build like the Twister builds, but if you can get past that, yeah, it's extremely fast with extremely high damage and you can one shot like most bosses in the game. Here the other build though, it's just, moving around, we're on Assault, and you're using Fall and Thunder as your both clear and boss skill and damage. So it's a 2-button build, one for movement and one for damage. Next, we have a pretty unique build, Oil Barrage by JMac. A pretty unique build. Has really good AoE clear, really good boss damage. You do have to stand still for your damage, but I thought this build was quite unique and also quite interesting to include on this list. Yeah, do check it out if you do want to play like a League Starter build as well. This can be played from a League Starter all the way to high tier multi-mirrors. So yeah, it is quite an interesting build. It revolves around the skill called Oil Barrage, and the skill can snapshot pretty much like a lot of stuff in the game. And yeah, you just get a full screen AoE clear, demolish everything around you. Overall, pretty unique build. The next build is also quite really interesting and unique. It's Lightning Warp Bore Lightning by Kingpin. People have done this build a few times already over the past year, right? Lightning Warp Bore Lightning is something new, but his version on it is quite interesting. Now, do keep in mind, this is not going to be a build for everyone. As you can see from the gameplay, it's going to be, have a lot of screen clutter. You really aren't going to see what's going on whatsoever. But yeah, it does look pretty interesting, pretty fast build. So I thought it was pretty interesting to include on this list. And it's one of the builds to check out this league. As for our ninth build, we have Spark Cast on Ailment with Ardornias. So you can also play Spark Cast on Crit, but Ardornias is just a really broken wand and it's only one Chaos Orb. And it can enable extremely high damage builds with such a low budget wand. Yeah. Cast on Crit is also in a similar vein here. As expected, Spark, Cast on Ailment, or Cast on Crit is still just like the best, all-rounder spellcaster you can play. You have the really great clear speed of Spark, and then Comet solves all the single target and rare damage needed for the game. It still is just one of the best spellcaster archetypes, if not the best spellcaster archetype you can still play. It's still extremely strong, even despite the Comet nerf recently. It didn't really matter all that much. Now, of course, for, the best build in the game, and this is number 10, and it's definitely going to be the most expensive build on here, it's going to be Temporalis build. So, either my build or other builds, but Temporalis build, kind of have to include in here, even though it is very expensive. It is still just by far the best archetype in the entire game. Nothing matches the speed. You also get extremely high damage. You can push this build easily to like 20, 30, 40 million plus DPS. Temporalis is just overall still unmatched and still an extremely broken item, but of course it's also extremely expensive. But I felt like I had to include it on this list because yeah, if you do have the currency, nothing is going to beat a Temporalis build at the end of the day. Nothing comes close. Nothing's like even half the speed. And fully max Temporalis build is just truly unmatched. Yeah, that's my top 10 list. Like I said, there's a ton of viable builds this league. Here just thought like
People often ask me, what is the funnest build you can innovate in your own ways? Now, the first special quality is with Ember Fusillade, giving 2% reduced skill effect duration and 1% less cast speed for quality. From the quality alone, giving 2% interactions and innovate in your own ways. Now, the first special quality is with Ember Fusillade, giving .2% reduced skill effect duration and 1% less cast speed for quality. From the quality alone in my specific setup, I reached 68% reduced skill effect duration. That makes it really easy to hit that 100% reduced skill effect duration for that machine gun Ember Fusillade setup. The second enabling quality for this build is with Cast on Dodge. Now, Cast on Dodge's alternate quality gives 0.1 meters to your dodge roll distance per 2% quality. I get 1.5 meters additional to my dodge roll distance. That's better than Surefoot Sigil can even give. Now, this is especially huge because Cast on Dodge actually gains energy for triggering skills from dodge roll distance. So this is able to scale both damage and mobility at the same time, something very, very rare in Path of Exile 2. The next build enabling important piece of this character compounds on that cast on dodge, and it's Decree of Flight. This pair of boots gives two really critical mods. The first one is faster dodge roll. This can roll up to 30% faster, and this can be further corrupted, going up to I think 36%, which is incredible. Again, you can scale both the mobility and your damage of the character from this modifier alone, and it just feels amazing to use. The second really important mod is Divine Flight, that final line on those boots. Now, I don't really know if it does anything, but it does change the animation of your dodge roll to the sick flying thing that you're seeing on the screen. And that is just, I think, absolutely critical. Totally mandatory for this build to be cool. Now, when put together, this gives a full auto bomber playstyle while dodging. It also does mandatory for the thing that you're seeing on the screen. And that is just, I think, absolutely critical. Totally mandatory for this build to be cool. Now, when put together, this gives a full auto bomber playstyle while dodging. It also dodges that heavy stun nerf most recently in the patch, which prevents you from logging out to reset your heavy stun status. See, I only dodge, I've even rebound my sprint key, and because I only dodge and never sprint, I never get heavy stunned. Cast on dodge is also able to bypass that less cast speed modifier from the alt quality for Ember Fusillade. Since I'm not really casting it, I'm just triggering it. Additionally, the zero duration also allows for a cast on critical Ember Fusillade setup, something that's probably the most powerful spell as far as cast on critical spells go. Now, I would have loved to overview much more technologies in this build. I can't remember all the details, so I'm just going to go over it piece by piece. So yeah, let's just deep dive into the character itself. I want to open up starting by the gear, and this character is far from finished. I'm still in a fairly early game setup, all things considered, I guess. Not really early game, but I'm still in a fairly early setup using Malagaros instead of going crit multi. This I think is just a really efficient pair of gloves early on, but I do plan on switching over to a proper crit damage setup tomorrow and getting much more energy shield. I do have my Mage Blood still. This just feels really good. I would opt for Headhunter if, I mean, I liked the Chaos, but I really don't. Decree of, I would opt for Headhunter. Hunter if, I mean, I liked the Chaos, but I really don't. Decree of Flight I've already mentioned. It's got that cool line also about gaining guard per missing ES. This is okay defensively, I don't mind it. Obviously, it's just good to have. And some people would consider this, you know, defensive. I also have a move speed and dodge roll distance socketed inside from these two things, so that's super cool. Palm of the Dreamer. You don't need to have any sort of specific number on that reduced skill effect duration, because there's various ways to hit 100. See, like, you could anoint, for instance, the reduced skill effect duration here in your hand. You could get more gem quality elsewhere. You can get gem quality on an amulet. So it's a bit more flexible, but I just went for the highest roll one because it was cheap when I bought it. It was like 50 divines. The last unique I have on my main gear is Azir Splendor, 50 divines. So it's a bit more flexible, but I just went for the highest roll one because it was cheap when I bought it. It was like 50 divines. The last unique I have on my main gear is Azir Splendor. This is crazy good. The problem is that I think the base chest has a modifier that converts cost into life cost. So you actually need to be able to double corrupt that off, but otherwise this is a crazy good chest. Prior to this, I was using a pure ES chest, but this cost me like about 150 divines as well, so. Again, already not cheap to start, and these aren't even the expensive items, okay? About 150 divines. As well, so. Again, already not cheap to start, and these aren't even the expensive items, okay? Well, I guess Mage Blood is. There's one more unique. I have a Snake Pit. I really only care about the projectiles from spells chain +1 times, I also like enjoy that 2 additional products line and the mana cost efficiency. Honestly, it was really cheap and really good to get this, but this is kind of like one of a kind, right? Like, or like it's fairly rare to find this corruption combination. Basically it's for the +1 chain, and then you just look for whatever benefits you can have. But as far as the Vol Cultivation Orb, it would be nice, for instance, to remove the projectiles cannot fork, or it'd be nice to keep the spell damage and the cast speed, but I haven't managed to do that. Don't have, but as far as the Vol Cultivation Orb, it would be nice for the +1 chain, and then you just look for whatever benefits you can have. But as far as the Vol Cultivation Orb, it would be nice, for instance, to remove the projectiles cannot fork, or it'd be nice to keep the spell damage and the cast speed, but I haven't managed to do that. Don't use the snake pit that has chain +1 removed, ever. Right items, let's start with the wand. I bought this wand early on, I need to change it. It's kind of trash, it's +4 or +5. But this gives you a sense of the modifiers that you might want early on. What is cool though is Thane's Gert's rune of the wildness. This is a fairly cheap rune that gives 25% chance for 2 additional proj. Really good for Fusillid. This ring is a mega res ring, 100 chaos or 100 exalts this time, so like got kind of sniped this one. Kind of fixed a lot of my res because I only really have 3 slots for res. I changed my chest now, so this gives a just absolutely massive amount of all res, but prior I didn't. And then in my helmet is ES, rarity, and resistance, but I also have this crazy rune combination. Firstly, Kurgel's Gaze. Why this? And I'll dive into the Sensi later, but basically this thing up here, intelligence modes, gives you regen, and then I don't want life regen, so then I convert that life regen to mana regen, and it just gives a ton of mana regen. I think like, I mean, 80 mana regen from a helmet is crazy. Like, that's absurd. And then Raven Touch Shard. What does this do? If you socket this, it gives you +1 Anoint. It is expensive. Really expensive. Would not recommend using this on a budget. Speaking of expensive, I self-crafted this amulet, and it's really interesting. I think It's one of the things that makes Ember Fusillade really powerful this patch. So Ember Fusillade has a base critical strike chance of 7. This amulet, while calloused up, is 5.32. Maximum roll, it can roll from 4 to 5 base. 5 times 1.2 would be what? 6. Wait, 5 times. It's two. It's just 6. It's just 6. Okay. But that's a lot of base crit. It almost doubles your base crit while mapping. That's obviously not true while bossing because I play with critical weakness. The way that I crafted this thing was I started with a breach amulet. So the breach can actually print out this mod. It's a crafted modifier. So if you have this, you can't have other crafted or deterministic modifiers. Afterwards, I nulled that down to 2 modifiers, then used greater chaos orbs to hit that +3 all spell skills. After that, in this case, I happened to raw slam spirit, which is neither here nor there. And then I use caster quality with the omen of catalyzing something something. And then I slammed cast speed. It just increased the chance of a cast speed slam, but you're kind of praying. And then I left the desecration open for the prefix because there's a mix of desecrated prefixes I'd want. A Mumu's, or whatever you actually say, which is increased armor, energy shield, evasion, max ES, or increased energy shield. They're all really great, and I left that open. I just thought there were a lot of good suffixes I could raw slam. But basically, it's got 1 fracture suffix, 1 deterministic suffix, after you just like, chaos spam it a bajillion times. And then I prefer to slam suffix, then go for a prayer of an exalt into a desecration of an exalt. Or a desecration of a prefix. So yeah, that's that for the core gear. Anything else I'm missing here? I need to change my flasks. Okay. Before I do the gems, I want to talk about the tree. I want to talk about the ascendancy, because I think it's just absolutely incredible. So I've already talked about advanced thaumaturgy a little bit in terms of what it does for build enabling stuff. But there's 2 things to note. Firstly, and it's easy to forget this, it applies to everything that you have. So there's so many gems that just have insane benefits randomly all across the board. The second thing is that it doesn't replace the quality, it gives both. So, I mean, it's just like super crazy. The fact that you get to have this and this, I look at my super to everything that you have. So there's so many gems that just have insane benefits randomly all across the board. The second thing is that it doesn't replace the quality. It gives both. So, I mean, it's just like super crazy. The fact that you get to have this and this, I look at my my cast on dodge, I get to have both preservation efficiency and dodge roll distance. It just makes quality scaling so broken for gemling. So I kind of wanted to craft a desecrated quality amulet, but at the end of the day, I thought just the cast would be better. But my god, is this thing crazy. Even virtuous barrier is good. People told me, I thought of it this way. At the start of the league, I was like, this is a bit of a wash of a node. But it's actually nuts, you know? Especially if you ran with, there's an anointment right now that gives +2 skill slots, which give you more motes. It's just so much. For my current character, what's the deal? I have 22 of these. So that's 7% mana regen and life regen per mote. Times 22, that's 154% increased, and then I get to double that and put it all into mana. This gives me 300% increased mana regeneration rate right now, I think, if I haven't done that wrong. That's absurd. It also gives, like, well, the strength one doesn't matter, but then 25% global defenses basically is so crazy. If you could spec more into defense stuff, or sorry, dexterity stuff, that would be quite good. But you know, I like the regen for now. Super great. Not to mention, the lead-in is quality. This is pretty straightforward, +2 all skills, very good. Not to mention, the lead-in is quality. This is pretty straightforward, +2 all skills, very good, and quality again. And then Gem Studded, oh my god, another crazy broken ascendancy. The fact that you can balance all 3 of these and this says not for each color. This just says don't screw up your build and you have all of these bonuses, okay? And it shows each up here, right? 13, 13, 13. Now it is a little bit difficult to balance. And it shows each up here, right? 13, 13, 13. Now it is a little bit difficult to balance. It is a little bit annoying, but it's just so crazy, right? Because the green one is better than mobility support. The blue one is slightly worse than efficiency, and the red one, like that crit immunity, is incredible. Like what an insane ascendancy. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, now then, the tree. What's going on here? I'm starting on the monk. It's because I have this, a split personality, which is shadow, but you know, shadow and monk will start the same place. It is a jewel. It lets you start your tree from somewhere else. I think this is actually kind of inefficient as I get into the later part of the build, and I will be rethinking this tomorrow, but I thought it was cool for now since monk start is very desirable for this kind of build. 1, it's the best defensive area. 2, is the best mobility area other than maybe ranger, which is scuffed. And 3, it is very close to a lot of the trigger and energy nodes. Now, it does give up a jewel slot, which I kind of have undervalued since I don't have great jewels, rare jewels previously to this, but yeah. That's really cool. I might drop it, I'm not sure. And then just like path around the outside. As you know, endgame POE trees kind of look the same. They path towards as many jewel sockets as possible and then just take Adorned, so yeah. Now, the second jewel that's really cool. Let's talk about this one here. From Nothing. Really powerful for hit-based chaos builds. From Nothing. Really powerful for hit-based chaos builds because it gives you spaghetti, which is move speed, damage, all attributes, and great with CI, right? Because that minus chaos stress doesn't matter. Event Horizon, which is really powerful for me as well because I'm a fire skill using chaos build, so that downside doesn't apply to me other than when I trigger Despair. And then True Strike is good. And then later, once I drop Malagaros for the Jugular, very high value node. Then True Strike is good. And then later, once I drop Malagaros for the Jugular, very high value node. And then True Strike is good. And then later, once I drop Malagaros for the Jugular, very high value node. Spell Haste is the other one I take once I have enough nodes later. So super cool. 2 more jewels. I have a Prism Belief +3 Ember. This was 26 divines when I bought it. I don't want to even think about how expensive it is now. I have a Prism Belief +3 Amber, this was 26 divines when I bought it. I don't want to even think about how expensive it is now that people are actually seeing that. And then a Heart of the Well here for extra chaos, movement, speed, and ES from body armor. CDR is relevant. At some point, I kind of want to throw this jewel on here and ES from body armor. CDR is relevant. At some point, I kind of want to throw this jewel on here, which gives me Black Flame Covenant. And that would save me all of this pathing, right? Like, I might stop my tree here. I might even take Whispers of Doom. You know, I might repath everything, stop my tree here. I might even take Whispers of Doom. You know, I might repath everything, but yeah, that's one of the options I'm considering. But then I realized there's a jewel socket here, so, you know, that might not be a good idea anyways. But yeah, that's an option. The rest of the tree is just grabbing evasion ES nodes, crit nodes, meta energy gain. Having a lot of energy gain is really good on this. You can see, like, let's start at 0. 1 dodge roll gives me right now at maximum distance about 100. Maybe one of these days they'll refund. There you go. So yeah, my current setup gives roughly 100 on the dodge roll, which is like, you know, kind of just perfect if you think about it. I would like it to be more. There's no downside for having more, because when you go higher on cast on dodge, it just like goes, it casts, and then it keeps on traveling, and then you just generate more energy. So that part's cool. One last thing to note about this. I have a lot of generic damage and increased chaos damage, as opposed to spell damage or projectile damage. Normally this doesn't really matter, but because I'm using Palm of the Dreamer, this actually scales the damage of the explosion, which is really nice for clearing content, especially for like pushing 200% delirium. It will feel really, really good. There's also some nodes for +2 proj off spell skills. It's just good because Ember Fuselid, it's a more multiplier for Ember Fuselid. So yeah, that's the current setup on the tree. Skill gems are so complicated. There are so many options. If you have the time, just, I'm gonna take a look. There's lots of recommendations. Any time in here that you see Armor Demolisher doesn't mean a single thing. I'm using this just to balance out my thing, my support gem count for gem studded, okay? But it works in like every gem, which is such a blessing. In my Spell Slinger, I'm running my 2 duration skills, Flame Wall and Despair. This just gives a little bit of extra fire damage. For my projectiles, it's not the most, but I mean, it's kind of free because I'm playing Spell Slinger anyway. And then Despair is my curse. It's just strong. I should really level this up more. Yeah. Efficiency heightened. Strong. I should really level this. I mean, it's kind of free because I'm playing Spell Slinger anyway. And then Despair is my curse. It's just strong. I should really level this up more. Yeah. Efficiency heightened and prolonged over there. In my Scepter, so because the Scepter is a purity skill, everything you sock in here is free. Alright. Mysticism, I'm sure you've seen, just spell damage on full ES. Clarity, I'm sure you've seen before. These two, her declaration, crazy. 30 spirit cost, doesn't matter at all, because again, it's in the Scepter. What does it give you? Intimidate. Intimidate is twofold. 10% increased damage taken and 10% reduced damage dealt. So this gives you more defenses for a little bit when you enter enemy's presence, and also makes them take more damage, increased damage. This is additive though with Wither. It's additive with Shock, so it's kind of just okay for my build. But it's free basically, right? The second one, Seraph's Heart. 45 spirit, doesn't matter, it's in the Scepter. 20% chance to treat all your resistances as being 90% while support skill is active. So in essence, sometimes monsters will just do less damage for you, to you, with their elemental hits. It's not insignificant. I value it enough. Ember Fuselid, this is the self cast. This is part of my being single target, right? So I cast on dodge for my clear, and for single target I self cast Ember Fuselid, and it also triggers my cast on crit. Silence Tempers here, that's basically just wild shards. Pinpoint crit, efficiency, execute, and blindside. Pinpoint crit is really great with Malagaros. This setup will change as I drop the gloves. Why these supports in particular? Balancing for this. There probably are better supports I considered casting, but yeah. Spark is simply fodder just to balance my gems again. Entangle is similar, but Entangle is actually really good. It's a fast hitting skill that has a duration that also has utility on it. What this means is when I cast this on bosses, it basically instantly applies 10 critical weakness stacks, sorry, 20 critical weakness stacks from my offhand swap over here with Effigy of Cruelty. and it's just incredible. So this is always bound only for weapon set 2. It's really, really great. I use level 1/1 to save mana as well. I didn't expect this to trigger. It's really, really great. Incredible. So this is always from an offhand swap over here with Effigy of Cruelty, and it's just incredible. So this is always bound only for weapon set 2. It's really, really great. I use level 1/1 to save mana as well. I didn't expect this to trigger so well. Would be great to play Unleash as things rebalance, but we'll see if that's possible. Mana Remnants. This is one of my reservations. This is probably the least important one, but it's felt incredibly good. I'm very surprised. I will want to make this level 21 eventually. Incredibly good. I'm very surprised. I will want to make this level 21 eventually. But yeah, just gives a ton of mana sustain for single target and gives you over sustain while mapping. Blasphemy Temporal Chains. This is also kind of greedy and extra, but incredibly good feeling because white mobs are really slow with Temp Chains Blasphemy. Incredible. Ghost Dance, great defenses when you're playing ES. And then over here, Withering Presence. Now for Titan, this sucked, right? Because it was 100% skill effect duration, but I only have 32% reduced skill effect duration on the tree. Skill effect duration, but I only have 32% reduced skill. It was 100% skill here, Withering Presence. Now for Titan, this sucked, right? Because it was 100% skill effect duration, but I only have 32% reduced skill effect duration on the tree. Which means that my wither still lasts like, I don't know, about 8 seconds, about 7.5 seconds on this, which is fine because the alt quality from Gemling makes you apply it like, I don't know, a lot faster. Okay, just it withers them much more often. I don't know if this 1.54 is base and this is on top of it or whatever, but that's just like so good. I've noticed like really high wither stacks all the time. More skill effect duration is great, and then arm breaker is just same thing. So bounce for that. And these are the two trigger skills now. Cast on dodge. They're very similar. Ember Fuselids. It's very cheap to do this, relatively speaking, for a 21 because you don't need to 6-socket this before you go push the 21. So Perfect Jeweler goes on here, and then you don't need to 6-socket this. And these are the two trigger skills now. Cast on dodge. They're very similar. Ember Fuselids. It's very cheap to do this, relatively speaking, for a 21 because you don't need to 6-socket this before you go push the 21. So Perfect Jeweler goes on here, and then you you start corrupting Ember Fuselids. Dominus gives you great clear. So I get one base chain off my snake pit. This just gets doubled. You could go for additional chains from, like, let's say, I don't know, lore weave. I'll show you the chest right now. Because I was thinking about building around this. Where'd you go, lore weave? You know, lore weave basically allows you to get multiple ring modifiers on the chest. So I took the snake pit mod, and I was thinking I could play with 2 chains there and then double it with Dominus. That'd be incredible, and have chill for my poison. But that's that. Boundless energy is great for the energy gen. As you see, it's really hard to do. And then pinpoint crit is great again with Malagaros. And then finally multi-shot. This is worse than wild shards on average for DPS, especially when paired with the tree and the chance for 2 additional proj, but it's more consistent, so I like it. And then cast on crit over here has Ember Fuselid, pinpoint, wild shards, fluke, and then cast on crit over here has Ember Fuselid, pinpoint, wild shards, fluke, and efficiency. Then cast on crit over here has Ember Fuselid, pinpoint, wild shards, fluke, and efficiency. As I check my mana cost for things, I'll probably consider different things. But for now, this setup has felt pretty good, all things considered. I think this character is probably sporting around 3 million DPS, but I've only been doing Overseer tablets, and I don't really know. It's really hard to see what single target actually feels like on bosses because, one, it's variable. Again, trigger rate is dependent on power, which is dependent on enemy ailment threshold, which depend on their HP, like their hidden stats, whatever. But I would say it's around 3 mil on average. Nothing really has HP though, so you kind of just fight the boss until the duration of its damage reduction ends, and all of a sudden it disappears. Okay, yeah, so that's it. 3 mil on a threshold, which depend on their HP, like their hidden stats, whatever. But I would say it's around 3 mil on average. Nothing really has HP though, so you kind of just whatever power boss until the duration of its damage reduction ends, and all of a sudden it disappears. Okay, yeah, so I would say it's around 3 mil on average. Nothing really has HP though, so you kind of just fight the boss until the duration of its damage reduction ends, and all of a sudden it disappears. So you kind of just fight the boss until the duration of its damage reduction ends, and all of a sudden it disappears. Okay, yeah, so that's it. I will be updating this build probably tomorrow, probably into next week, but this is the kind of build I can like really show a lot of love to, you know. This is Jonathan Dodgers. I gotta show it some love, you know. It's level 96 after my slash
Why would I get escorted out? Because
scheduled and you are refusing to leave.
Why would I get escorted out?
Because you're not scheduled and you are refusing to leave.
Do you want to see the proof that I'm supposed to be behind?
No, ma'am.
I'm not leaving.
Are you going to leave voluntarily or not?
I'm asking you, what am I being tested?
You're under arrest for trespassing.
Sir?
Full time? I take.
What am I being tested?
You're under arrest for trespassing.
Sir?
I work full time. I take care of 2 kids. What are you thinking?
These are the times when
Under arrest for trespassing.
Sir?
I work full time. I take care of 2 kids. What are you thinking?
These are the times when dumb people get arrested at their jobs. Starting with this.
Did you clock out?
Soon as it's over.
To them, or at least I didn't think it was being aggressive.
Did anybody put their hands on you?
No.
Day delivery to county jail. While Diamond was trying to work a shift she didn't have, Jenny was out here working everyone's last nerve. On January 31st, 2025, police were called to a local office regarding a woman causing chaos. Which, okay, chaotic woman at work isn't exactly new, but when officers showed up, they realized they weren't dealing with your average meltdown. They had just entered the Jenny zone.
Is there anyone injured? No. No? Okay. Can we talk over there maybe?
Yes.
This is Jenny.
I'll talk to Jenny real quick. Hi, you're Jenny?
Yes.
Okay. What's going on today?
Nothing. I was telling my supervisor nothing's going on, and she told me that I seemed out of it, and I was like, I'm tired. I work 2 jobs. Like, it's Friday. Like, I have to go to my other job, my yoga studio, and clean up and go to work.
Sure.
That's it.
That's understandable. Did you physically go after anybody? Did anybody physically go after you?
I just kept asking them, like, what's wrong? Like, I didn't do anything. Like, what's wrong with it? And I just kept pleading to them. I was like, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. And that was it. But it wasn't anything like me being aggressive to them. Or at least I didn't think it was being aggressive.
Did anybody put their hands on you?
No.
Okay, and you didn't put your hands on anybody else?
No.
Okay. How much sleep did you get last night?
I got 8 hours.
You got 8 hours? What time did you start this job today?
It would have been at 7.
So 7 in the morning.
So when I woke up, it would have been 7. By the time I got here, it would have been 8.
Okay, and then you work what, 8 to
8 to now.
8 to now? Okay. All right.
Jenny immediately tried to play the victim card like it had cashback rewards. Everything was unfair and she didn't do anything. But the officer was picking up something else entirely, like the strong scent of alcohol.
Has this ever happened before?
No.
Have they never approached you?
No.
Okay.
Oh, this is new.
Okay. Have you had anything to drink?
No.
Okay. Are you somebody that does drink alcohol?
Occasionally, but not today.
Not today. Okay.
No. Especially not because I'm working.
Okay. So that's never something like you would go on your lunch break and maybe have a drink or anything like that. Okay. What about any type of like medicine you're on or anything like that?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
Nothing.
So you just feel tired?
Could be, but this is every Friday. Like, this is something.
Do you have days off? What are your days off?
No,
You
I
don't
mean,
get-
I'm Monday through Friday, and then, so when I go and clean at the yoga studio, it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it's not like it's just today.
Okay. So you just feel overtired.
I mean, I feel
Okay.
normal.
Okay. This is your normal?
Yeah.
Okay. Did they say anything as to why they thought you looked maybe not abnormal?
No.
Like you didn't fall asleep at your desk or anything
No.
like that? Okay. Would you tell me if you had anything to drink? And if I didn't tell your boss, just so I know medically what I'm dealing with?
Yeah.
And you're saying no alcohol, no type of drugs or anything like that?
Yeah.
Yes, you have or no, you haven't?
No, I
No, you haven't. Okay. You do seem a little off to me talking to you, but I don't
In
know
what
you.
way?
You seem a little like slow to response and your eyes are very glazed over. Were you crying at all?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
crying.
Okay.
Because of what they accused me of.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't even ask. How old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay, so you're 32. How did you get to work today?
By myself. I'm like coming to here regularly.
Okay, and you didn't drive or anything like that?
I mean, I drove.
Oh, you drove. You did
yeah,
drive.
of
Okay.
course.
You drove
That's what I'm
yourself
trying
there.
to tell you. Like, I drove
Okay.
here normally.
Okay. I've got to talk to my partner. I got to make sure nothing criminal happened. I don't think anything did. Okay. Then it's going to be more of an internal thing with your workplace.
Despite claiming she hadn't been drinking, her speech was more slurred than a drunk pirate's karaoke night. Her body language was off, so the officer decided to run a few sobriety tests. Let's just say Jenny failed those tests before they even started.
The next thing I will have to do is make sure you're good to drive.
Okay.
Okay, so you would be able to pass some field sobriety tests, or I could just get a PBT and you could blow into it and it should show all zeros, right? Or is it not going to?
No, at that point, that's whatever you guys think.
I just want to make sure you're good to drive. I sure wouldn't want you to get behind the wheel and then have an accident, and you don't need that in your life. So if I gave you a PBT test, would you blow zeros or no? You can just shake your head yes or no. I don't care. And I'm not going to tell your boss. It's not my place to tell your boss.
I mean, it's not my place to tell anything.
My concern is you don't drive if you had too much to drink.
I mean, I'm fine right now, and there's nothing to...
Would it be... Okay, how about this? Would it be best if you called a friend or a family member or an Uber to have you leave for tonight and come get your car later?
Sure.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I appreciate that. Okay.
Yeah.
But let me go talk to my partner,
Okay.
and then we're gonna try to get out here. Do you have your ID on you?
Yeah, let me get it.
Oh, no. You don't have to get it. Just, I don't want you to have any confrontation with them.
So they don't want to do anything other than have her
Okay,
leave.
perfect. Okay. She's gonna... You gonna do an Uber?
I mean, I'm fine. I'm just telling
Here,
you, like,
let me be
if
honest
you
with
need...
You're not good to drive. I'm talking to you.
No, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm fine.
You're not fine to drive. I know that's what you're telling me, but I can tell by just the communication I've had with you, you're not okay to drive. Okay? So like the best plan is for you to get an Uber. Where's your phone at? Do you want to
Okay.
why don't you grab your stuff and call yourself an Uber?
Still, the officers tried to cut her a break. They politely asked her to call an Uber and leave. Sounds simple, right? But the moment Jenny reached for her phone, everything just blew up.
Is this your water bottle? Because it's leaking.
This big one.
Okay, this one.
You drink a whole one in a day?
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Oh, good job.
Hey, we're not gonna have any. We're not gonna have any more of
Holy
this.
shit.
Let's walk out.
Yeah.
Good job.
Favorite stuff.
Keep walking.
Good job.
Keep walking.
Hey.
Make this so they don't tighten up.
Oh.
All right, I'm gonna help you up. Ready?
You go sit up. Now walk up. Yeah, can you just open a door for us, please?
Oh, can you?
I'll grab your stuff.
No.
I'll grab your stuff.
Officer, please.
I'll grab your stuff.
Okay, lovely. You're disgusting. You were the most terrible manager ever. You never gave me feedback. You were terrible. No. Stupid. I will you up. I will you up. You stupid.
Did you get hit, ma'am? Okay.
Yeah, she did. Good thing that she got.
Don't kick me. Stop. You've already been charged with aggravated battery. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move. You've already been charged with aggravated battery. Don't move. Jennifer. Don't move. Don't move.
Or do you want me to hold the door?
You hold the door, yeah.
Look, I have to check you before you get in my car.
Go ahead,
Please don't kick me. Please don't do anything
I'm
violent.
not doing
okay?
shit to you. Just do it. Just shut the fuck up
I
about
gotcha.
it. Just fucking do it. Ma'am, you have nothing to worry about. Shut the fuck up.
Sit back for me, please.
I'm sitting. What the fuck
I
am
got-
I gonna
listen.
do? Good for you, ma'am.
Okay.
Good for you.
Okay.
You have old gray hair, so I'm sure this is very easy for you. Good for you, girl. Good for you.
Jenny went full Tasmanian devil, yelling at the cops, insulting co-workers, and hurling slurs at officers like it was a sport. Eventually, she earned herself a trip to the station with charges for aggravated battery, obstruction, property damage, and assaulting her manager. All that chaos just to end up unemployed and in handcuffs. Nice one, Jenny. As officers wrapped up their report on Jenny's outburst, another situation was taking shape, this time involving an employee who thought helping someone shoplift was just part of customer service. responded to a theft call at Dollar General. Seemed like a petty shoplifting case, until it unraveled into a full-blown side quest.
Hello. I'm Andrew. I'm the loss prevention manager at Dollar General. So this is a high shrink store for us. We just had an inventory. I figured. So I'm required to come in here about every 60, 90 days to an audit. I've been out the last 6 weeks. I had hip replacement, so I was just here last week. And we found a situation. One of the associates, she's been doing transaction voids, allowing people to go through the self-checkout and then allowing them to leave with the merchandise after she voids it out. Okay. Okay? Is she getting any
new. All right, your order is registered.
Legal limit.
Twice in. What does that mean?
Means you are higher than twice the legal limit.
Twice in legal minute?
Twice the legal limit. I put my lights on. Wait.
What does that mean?
Means you are higher than twice the legal limit.
Twice in legal.
Your main kitchen fridge is constantly screaming for mercy because you bought too many bulk frozen meals. You have probably realized it is time for a dedicated deep freezer. That is where this sleek silver unit from Kiastown comes into play. It offers a generous 7 cubic feet of storage space.
So what were you guys doing in here again?
Watching The Lion King.
And you're 18?
Yes.
And she's
Yes.
I pull up and you're putting clothes on. Do you think I'm dumb? There's a knife in the car. I would hate to see a scenario where maybe you forced yourself upon her.
I'm just gonna be like shaking because I'm like scared. It was just like easy to forget that she was that young. So I guess it was like different in my head.
On December 7th, 2023, an officer approached a parked vehicle in a secluded area and made contact with an 18-year-old male and a younger individual who claimed they were simply watching a movie. However, the situation quickly raised suspicion after inconsistencies in their statements and observations at the scene led to further investigation.
Just you in here? What y'all got going on?
We're just sitting in the back watching movies and whatnot.
Okay. Do you have some IDs on you by any chance?
Out of she, Marine.
Just watching movies, huh?
Yes.
Okay, what movie you watching?
Lion King.
Oh, okay. Does she have some ID on her too?
Do you have your ID on you? No.
No? Okay. Is this your car, Seth?
Yes.
You still in St. Francis?
Yes.
What are you doing out here?
Just friends.
Just friends? She lives out here?
Yes.
Somewhere out here.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I can like whisper or something. Yeah.
Well, can I talk to her for a minute?
Oh yes, of course.
You just open the door. I gotta get her information.
I'd like to talk to you for a moment.
Ma'am, what's your name? You don't have to get out. I just want to. Right back. Hi.
Hello. It's freezing.
It is freezing. So what were you guys doing in here again?
Watching The Lion King.
And you're 18?
Yes.
And she's.
Yes.
You see anything wrong with that?
Yes.
Okay. You're her boyfriend's brother?
Yes.
So what's. Dude, what's going on?
We're just watching The Lion King as well.
Yeah, you said that, but like,
yes, I do. Yeah, that's true.
what are you doing? You're at the end of a dark street with a 15-year-old in the back of your car.
That is true.
I pull up and you're putting clothes on. Do you think I'm dumb?
As bad as that looks, no, you're not dumb.
Is he gonna be a man and tell me what's going on back here? Or?
Am I going to jail right now? I've been. Sorry, I just get really nervous with things.
Okay. Why don't you stand in front of your car? We'll go talk over here. So are you like mad at your brother or what? Why are you...
No.
Francis, which is...
A little far south.
Not even close to you. So you came all the way up here just to watch a movie in the back seat with her?
No, well, I was going to go to the pizza ranch that she worked at, just like invite me up and...
Where do her parents think she is?
Probably at work.
Okay, so her parents don't know she's here?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, I already talked to her, so are you going to tell me what you guys are actually doing in the back of the car or no?
We weren't doing anything, it was just watching the...
You didn't perform any activities at all?
No.
And that's your story?
Yes.
Alright. How often do you guys watch movies in the back of the car?
Not often. Like, this was just like hanging out was all.
Okay. Is this the first time you've just hung out?
Yes.
Alright, and where'd you graduate from?
St. Francis High School.
Alright, you sit right here. I can tell he's lying. He says there was no sexual conduct going on. She's also lying. She's saying there wasn't either, but that his shirt was off and that they were just strictly watching a movie. I can't get a hold of Mom. Yeah, I interviewed them both twice, and he's doing that thing where I ask him some baseline questions to get the truth, and he looks me in the eye. When I start asking what conduct, he looks away, he gets nervous, he doesn't act right, he looks me in the eye. When I start asking what conduct, he looks away, he gets nervous, he doesn't act right, he asks if he's going to jail, and then when I ask her, she gets real quiet about it too, so they're obviously lying, but I have nothing, you know, I didn't walk right up on the car to see them, you know, I waited a minute to let everyone get their clothes on, because I didn't think it was going to be an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old. I mean, there's a whole bed back there, there's sheets, a pillow, the window was cracked, but they said they had the heat on, there's a fan back there, it smells like BO, like all the cards are there except I can't get any one of them to tell me. I didn't see her changing because she stayed underneath the window line, but I saw him changing. She says her clothes were on the whole time. I can't verify that. So your story is you're sitting here watching a movie.
Yes.
There was no sexual activity at all. Alright. It would make me feel a lot better leaving here if you let me search this car to make sure that there's nothing in there that would indicate you guys had any kind of interest. Do you have a problem if I search it?
Not at all.
Okay.
If the car is properly unlocked.
Sure. Through it, okay? And then I'll have you stand right over there somewhere.
Okay.
While I go through it, okay?
Grab the keys, but yes, be my guest.
All right.
Should I grab the...
Yeah, grab your just your keys and. Thank you. Perfect. Yeah. The switch. The switch. The switchblade? Yeah. Appreciate it. Thanks. You can sit on your head or whatever you're doing before. Is this your mom? She told mom they did it. Say that again? She admitted to it to mom, so. Well, what? They know that they did it. She's still kind of hysterical. Enough to detain them. Yeah. My idea is that maybe instead of doing an interview out here where it's cool and everything, we can take her back to the sheriff's office, do a proper interview, find out exactly what happened. Yep. I think that's good. We have enough to hook him, so. All right. You don't have to turn around and put your hands.
We're still conducting our investigation, but it sounds like being detained. We're still conducting our investigation, but it sounds like we're not getting the whole truth story from you. So that's what we're gonna be looking forward to doing here. Okay.
We're gonna put you in the car, and then we'll read you your rights. So, so help me understand this family dynamic a little bit. So you live in St. Francis, and your stepbrother is dating.
I don't think they're dating or nothing. We're just like on some. They're like always on and off. They're always weird. I'm not sure what they are anymore.
Okay, so
they're still talking. They're still like friendly and then like.
Okay, where do you live now?
Still in St. Francis.
Okay, so you're living with mom and dad?
Mom, stepdad,
your
sister.
Mom, stepdad, sister. And this stepbrother lives?
In Belgium?
Somewhere over here.
Somewhere over here.
Okay, who does he live with?
His mom.
His mom.
Yeah, I think they have like some other random family staying with them. Last time I checked, that's weird.
So I guess, do you guys share a dad or a mom?
Because his dad is my stepdad. Because my dad a long time ago, so it's just like.
So how come he doesn't live with
my stepdad? Because my dad a long time ago, so it's just his dad is my stepdad. Because my dad a long time ago, so it's just like.
So how come he doesn't live with you then?
Because he goes to school over here, and like that's just where his mom is. So he usually does. He comes over on the weekends.
Okay.
He comes on the weekends. It's like a split thing because like divorces are weird like that, I guess.
Okay. What did you all do today before I met you? You woke up and what happened?
I just woke up at like 10:30 or so, and then I was hanging out with my sister because why not? And then I went and we were just sort of just hanging out, and I had to go someplace to get a tattoo touched up by one of my friends that work at the casino. So she just came with me there, and that was like
your sister's.
Yep. And then we went back home, and that was at like about 3 o'clock because we went there at like 1 o'clock to get like stuff like touched up and went on, and then I got home.
Okay, so you got your sleeve touched up or your tattoo touched up.
Yes.
That was around what time?
That was around 1. That was at 1.
Okay. And then what time did you go to the Pizza Ranch?
Because I left home around 3, so I hadn't even gotten there at like 4-ish.
Okay. So you got to the Pizza Ranch at 4.
Yes.
Was she working already, or was she about to work, or did you know if she was supposed to work tonight? Or?
She was working.
Okay.
And then she got off, so that she was like saying like, "Hey, we can hang out after this," and I'm just like, "Okay."
Well, you must have known that beforehand, though, right? Otherwise, why make the trip?
Well, like I knew that she was getting off at 4, so I came up at 4, and then.
Have you talked to her prior to that? Like,
yeah.
Did you establish, hey, you want to hang out tonight? She said, yeah, I'll be done at 4, or what?
Well, like she was saying, she's like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" Like she like got us off at 4. If I wanted to come pick her up, I'm like, "Okay, why not?" That's where she just like, I guess like she always like has like stuff with her dad and mom, like where I guess they always argue. So she was like, I don't want to go back there yet. Okay. So that's why she said that she worked till 8 to the parents.
Oh.
So then she would just hang out with me to, I guess, get away from it.
Sure.
Because I don't know, I've like been on the FaceTime from time to time, and I've heard some yelling. So I was like,
okay.
No.
Okay. How long have you known her for then? How long has it been? Have you guys just recently been acquainted, or?
Probably a few months.
If you had to guess, like, are we talking like 2 months, 5 months, like close to a year?
Close to a year.
Okay.
Because it had to have been somewhere around Christmas-ish.
Christmas last year?
Probably.
Okay.
I think so. I'm not quite sure what the time frames are. I know that she was like over at my house with him once or something.
That's like kind of when your brother and her started dating, or?
I think they were already dating for a while though. I don't know. They have a weird dynamic.
Sure.
But
sure.
So how did you even start talking to her?
At my house. That was the main reason.
And you guys just swap phone numbers or Snapchat, or how did you start?
Well, that was one because I have a motorcycle. Usually I just like take people like all around the block because fun, who doesn't love going on like some super fast scooter? So I took him first, and then I took her, and then she's just like, "Oh, that was fun," and I'm like, "Yes." It was. Because I'm just like flying around on a motorcycle. It is always fun. Mm-hmm. And then I guess that was somewhere around there. We were just like, oh, well, there's my Snapchat if you want. I don't know. Because like, not to really do anything, but more to just like, well, because she's dating my stepbrother. I was like, yeah, I guess that's not a bad reason to have it.
Is that a way of communication almost, or
yeah.
Okay.
If she's ever like coming over again or something, just talking about the motorcycle.
Sure.
Because it's a motorcycle.
So how'd you arrange to meet up then today? How you guys decided to hang out? Is that all through Snapchat or okay?
Well, I mean, it was on the FaceTime call, which was like, hey, I'll work tomorrow till 4. You want to come over and something at that point? I'm like, sure.
Is that normal for you guys to hang out like that? How many times you guys?
Well, we were planning on hanging out, but not really been able to. But because like she was always like, oh, you want to hang out? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? No, because like, why not?
So have you guys hung out like this before? This is the first time?
Yes.
Alright, so you meet her at Pizza Ranch, she gets off at 4, then what? You guys get pizza, or you hang out there for a little bit, or do you go straight to Huntington?
We were going to be there for a little bit, but that was by then she was already off, and I'm just like, and that's why she just came out to the car. So we didn't like get any pizza or food. We were talking about going to like to just some gas station because my car does not have much gas in it. I think it's like bordering the 50-mile thing where it starts going beep, low fuel, and I'm like, crap.
So you went to the gas station and then Harrington?
Beep, low fuel, and I'm like, crap.
So you went to the gas station and then Harrington?
Beep, low fuel, and I'm like, crap.
So you went to the gas station and then Harrington?
No, well, we didn't go to the gas station. We were thinking about it, but then.
So you went to the gas
mile thing where it starts going beep.